everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel, and today we are doing one of my favorite things, which is the quarterly flip through. This is the second one for 2025 in my reading journals, and yes, plural, I do have quite a few here. However, we're only going to mostly focus on these two black ones. I did bring out everything that I am now utilizing over 2025, but this one here is just a little guide where I store down what I've written, read for the day, and just the little notes. It's like the messy version of what I can put in here. It's really helpful. Also, my dog is, I've had to try and film this several times, and she is, for some reason, got the zoomies. So if you hear bouncing around in the background, it's just my dog. And then this one here is new to the lineup, and if you haven't seen my review journal, Books I Loved journal, I will link that below, the setup of that, but it's very basic. I haven't really used it since setting it up, so we've just got the cover page, an index, and one like quote page, and so there's no point really going any further into it with that one because there's nothing else to show. So we will focus, as usual, on these two here. We'll start with pushing that one out of the way. We'll start with this one here, which is my B5 Archer and Olive Book of Spells journal, and I called it the Compendium of Magic. I know it should have been the Compendium of Magic, but I called it a Compendium of Magic, so go with that with what you will. If you're new here, I know this font is really hard to see. I really wanted to have like an ornate feeling to the headers, but of course on camera they're very difficult to see, and I can see them perfectly in person, but it does look quite jarring at times to see some of these headers. So I will tell you what the pages are as we go through if you're new here. So this is the reading challenge. My goal for the year is 150 books. That was my goal last year. And I completed it, so I just thought I would continue it on. I am behind. At this point of the year I should be around 75 books, and I'm on 67 at the end of June. I have already finished some more now that it's in July, but I've left this journal blank up to June. Sorry, I've left the journal filled only up to June, and then I'll put in the July stuff after filming this flip through, because that is information for another flip through. I'm really happy with how this page is working out for me. I'm loving the swap between the two colours. Normally I do 12 different colours to represent 12 different months, but I've really enjoyed just using two colours. It's made it a lot easier to remember, and I don't have a lot of other information on this page. Here is my bookshelfie, and for the longest time I've utilised this kind of layout. The first time I did a full journal was I think 2022, and I had like decorations on the shelf, and I had like a little ladder with the key on it. It was really, really cute. I'll try and insert a photo here or a clip from a video there. But unfortunately, over the years, the shelf has become quite plain looking just to fit in so many books, and with the B5 size I can fit 150 books normally in these shelves, but I did add extra columns this year, so I've only reached 147, which is really frustrating. I do have an extra shelf over here, but I'm not enjoying it. So next year I will definitely be changing this up, and I bring these thoughts up because we are now into the second half of the year, and it won't be long until I start setting up for 2026, which is kind of scary to think about, but I really like to be transparent and share my thoughts along the way. Otherwise, this page is very self-explanatory. It's a shelf or bookshelves full of the books I've read, and I've color coded it with my key for the year, and all the colors here represent star ratings, which are in this key right here. Really like this page here. And then on the side here we have the day's read pixel, and I really enjoy this page. I know I say that a lot, especially if you're around a lot and see all my monthly wrap-ups. I always have like this little spiel about this page of how much I enjoy it, but it's a really good visual, and I'm glad that I added in the day's read pixel as well as just my like the quantity of books I've read per day. I really like this spotty little graph now, and I will definitely be carrying this over into 2026 as well. Moving on to the first challenges in this journal, and we have the Read the Rainbow, and I'm pretty sure I've actually completed this. I'm just waiting for like the most perfect orange book to come along. I know that sounds silly, but this one is like borderline, are you really yellow? Yeah, waiting for the most perfect orange book, and then we can complete this challenge. And then on this side we have the Booktress. This is new to me. I think people play it differently than I have, but I've wanted to use it more as, again, a visual guide of every single book rather than trying to see how far I can get before I fill it in. So I have probably done this wrong, but I'm enjoying it the way it is. All 67 books are represented here so far. Well, actually, there's more than 67. It's got all the books that I've read so far. But I really like it. It is a lot of work to keep up with. And if you've seen June's wrap up, this wasn't done. So I've just done this today before filming this. So yeah, do have to take the time to catch up and then leave myself little notes as to where I am. But otherwise, I really, really like this setup. On to the next two challenges, sorry. And we're not doing so great with the A to Z challenge. I would have liked to have been ahead more. I know a lot of people have been commenting saying that I'm being a little bit too precious with not using, you know, like omitting the and the because they're not really part of the title. But I have always wanted to be like harder on myself with the challenge and make sure that the first letter that's put down is what is used. So if we get desperate towards the end of the year, I'll re-look through it and see what I can do. But for now, I'm happy to continue on and see what I can get done. Obviously, X and Z are always the hardest ones to fill on these challenges. And I've already got one for U, so that's really good. V is also a little bit challenging sometimes. But I think that with a positive mindset, we'll get through this. And there's a few books I've got coming up soon that I know will fill these. And then the reading bingo I created with the intention of being able to fill the entire board this year. I put in prompts that I knew were suited for me as opposed to following somebody else's. Obviously I took some inspiration from a couple of places, but it's been going really well. I could probably tick off this one here, which is outside of a normal audience pick, but I think I'm going to wait until I've read another book, because I did do a non-fiction with my sister just recently. We were reading a historical, well, a book about Greek mythology together. It was really fun, but I feel like I want to put a different book here instead. So we'll leave that space there for that. And I've got plans for these two. So I know how I'm going to finish this. It's good. My dog has just brought the noisiest toy into the office, so I do apologise. She is the most attention-seeking animal whenever I start talking on a video, so we're going to have to bear with her being a little bit desperate behind me. Anyway, 12 Friends and 12 Books is on this side here. That's another challenge for the year. We'll get into this in a minute. And this is my yearly readathons list. It doesn't look that great, but it's functional enough. I am behind in a few things. Gosh, she's loud. And it's been challenging to find books that fit some of the themes for the buzzword reading challenge the most. I've also struggled to continue on with 𝓷𝓷𝓼 because I think I chose the wrong path and I need to find a specific book. I might have filled in June by now, I'm not sure, but I do need to catch up on this page. I just haven't had the brain capacity to deal with it. Oh goodness, you've got your jellyfish, have you? She's very excited. She's got midnight zoomies. And then on this side here, like I mentioned, I've got the 12 Friends, 12 Books. I won't get into too much about this, but frankly speaking, this is not a challenge I'll be doing going forward. I knew that I should have stuck with my instincts because for the last few years I haven't participated in something like this because I know that I'm going to be picky or find things not to my usual reading enjoyment, and I know these things are to try and get you out of your comfort zone. Unfortunately, I haven't had a great time with this. I've DNF'd 4 of the books and I feel really bad because they're from friends that I enjoy. But it is what it is. So next year I'll be doing my own challenge to fill in this page if I need to. the last 2 pages before we get into the monthlies are always dedicated to the monthly theme and book club. So on this side I just store down a visual guide of what each month's theme is, and then on this side we have book club. And if you've just recently watched my June wrap-up video, which is going up before this one, this page didn't look like this. I've gone ahead and fixed it. I actually had to rip up these 2 covers to shift them across because I only had it set for 3 books across rather than 4, and I wasn't going to have enough room to fit them all on here. Again, a bit like 12 reads 12 books. Book club this year has not gone great for a lot of us. A couple of people have better ratings overall than I have, and some have worse, but overall we've been having just like mid reads, and we're hopeful that the second half of the year is going to go much better. We're reading 𝓛𝓲𝓷𝓼 𝓜𝓮 at the moment, and I'm enjoying it, so fingers crossed the highest rating eventually won't be 4 stars and the rest being all quite low. We've also got a DNF here, and for April we all decided just not to read it in the end because we changed our minds on it. So that one got I did not read. So overall book club's been a bit confusing, so I'm glad that I've got the page sorted now though, and we'll see how it continues. And to the monthlies, I'm going to flip through these quite quickly because they do get a bit repetitive, and if you've watched these videos beforehand you'll know what these pages look like, but for those who are new, each month has the same sort of layout. We have the cover page, we have a monthly calendar, we have readathon section, a functional page where I store my TBR and all that, reading log, and then it continues on again. I used to have my stats page in here, but I've moved it into the other journal. We'll get onto that soon, but in this one it just repeats again. So I have the ornate cover page because we are doing like a yearly theme where this is all like a reference novel, or a reference book, sorry, not novel. And so each one has a theme, each one has a topic to discuss kind of thing. And the biggest changes that have happened over the year is about this monthly view page. You can see that there wasn't much structure to it, just some colouring, and that was it. But I have been working on it a little bit. I need to go through it a little bit more, but I am enjoying using it. And aside from that, they all kind of look the same. There are some themes that I've enjoyed more. I really liked March. Unfortunately I didn't fill it in enough, so that was kind of frustrating to me. This looks incredibly bare, and then we get to here as well and it's kind of like bare as well. So it has been frustrating to not utilize pages, so I'm trying to be more mindful of that. Really liked April as well, and here we have a little tip in for that yearly theme, monthly readathon. But yeah, otherwise it's very much the same all the way through. May was the only month that's had just one book to reference because I did the Providence cards, and I really enjoyed that. And I also had my first collaboration with Evie in this month, and I am so happy with how this all came together. But it is again very much so the same sort of layout, just different way of using the decorations. And then in June it's kind of the same, had some really cool layouts with the washi tape as decoration. And then here we only needed one page for the readathon, so I added in a quotes page, and from here on out this page is going to become a staple. I've really enjoyed this. It's essentially the first quote or the first line of every book written down here that I read in June. So I really liked this. I'm doing it in July already, and really happy with that. I saw it from another person online, I cannot remember who it was, but they were doing it for every single book, and it was at the start of their reading journal, and I thought it was fantastic, so I had to try it out for myself. And then here we are with the reading log, and this one I had to do a tip in. I also had to do one in January, but it was only for one book. You might have seen that it said 13 rather than 12 here. But I did end up reading the most in June, which is funny because it's normally my least read month of every year. So I'm really happy with how that's going, and that is where we leave this journal off, because We're into July, and we can see that in the next flip through, and there's nothing else in here to show you. So let's put this one aside. And I will bring out our other little guy here, and I've really enjoyed having this square journal. This is also an Archer and Olive. It's called the Raven and Books Square Journal. I'm going to zoom in just a fraction because this book is a little guy. He needs to be seen a little bit closer, but again with the foiled page here, and this has a very different vibe to it. It's also a journal that I want to last more than 1 year, so bear that in mind. So we do have this startup area here, which is kind of academic looking. I have a quote from 𝓤𝓷𝓷𝓭𝓮 𝓤𝓼, which is dark academia, so kind of went with that vibe, and also with the library feel with the rich colours and stuff. So we have the series tracker here, and it's going mostly well. If you can see that there's a mistake, please just ignore it. Last month I unfortunately was not paying attention to what colour I'd picked up, and they're both really quite similar. Well, I thought they looked somewhat similar. Where was the other one that I accidentally picked up? Of course it will just completely disappear from the desk. But of course it's gone missing, but I picked up the wrong colour. So always make sure that you have a piece of paper next to you and use the piece of paper to check that you've got the right colour. It was a really poor mistake on my behalf, and by the time I realised that this colour was not this colour, I was too far in, so I just decided to leave it. It's such a minor mistake that it's not going to be a big issue, but it does stand out a little bit when you very first look at the page. Otherwise, doing really well. My dog is running around again. I have completed on this page 5 series so far and 6 series. And I think I was at 5 the last time we did a flip through, can't remember. So I have unfortunately started quite a lot of series as well this year. Oh goodness, you've got a lot to say. So yeah, it's been interesting to say the least, because I was trying to focus on finishing series this year rather than starting more, but we'll see how we go. Also, she's just given me this really disgusting looking toy. Here you go. Right, so I do have extra pages here for more series. This book, like I mentioned, I want to last at least 2, maybe 3 years, so it's set up to last longer. If you do see that toy coming flying onto the desk, she's just put it here again. There you go. And then we do have the 𝓛𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼, and I promised you guys that I would put in the effort, and I haven't, and I will try my best to do that, because like I said, this is going to last more than this year. It's not like the biggest rush to get it done right now, that's what I'm telling myself, but I do need to go through. I've just recently reorganized my entire shelf in my bedroom with all my books on it, so it's time to go and add this all up. So I don't do like a running physical TBR for my books that I have on my shelf, because I'm mostly read. They're mostly just book trophies, but I do want to mark down when I read them on here, so that's why I have the key down here that you can't read. But yeah, again, similar setup. There's multiple pages here. And then we do have this blank page because it was broken and I do need to glue it together, and I say that quite often, I still haven't done it. So yeah, we'll have to do that at some point. Then we're into the 2025 section of this journal, and I like to keep this here so I can find it really easily. And then we just did, this is the cover page we did together. This is the year at a glance. This is a really great visual guide that I really enjoyed. Did I mention that this is the reading data journal? If I didn't, I'm so sorry. This is where all the stats and stuff are kept. And so this is a really good visual. I like the fact that the square allows me to fit 4 onto one side, so then I can do 1.5 pages instead of 2 page spreads, and I really liked filling this in. And now we're on to here. It looks really blank right now. I will do the decoration at the end where we need to see how much I've read per month. But I really like this, and it's a great way to start the year out. Then we've got the DNFs and reread section over here. I really would like to stop having to DNF so much, but equally I know that I'd rather not read a book I'm not enjoying, so I am expecting this page to fill up a bit more. However, I have managed to do 2 rereads. I'd like to reread some more books as well, so I'm hoping this will also fill up. This was something new to me this year. It was done by I think it's Katie Reads Fiction. I will put the correct creator on the screen. And it was something that she did in hers, and I really wanted to sort of bring it into my journal. Really liked the idea of it. It is not something I'll be doing next year. I have really enjoyed using these pages. They're all broken down by a couple of different headers. But I want to do the mosaic tracker. So we've got one for ratings, so this is the books by ratings page, and the color key is down here, and in my wrap up videos I do put it on the screen, so I'll try and put those graphics up here as well as we quickly look through. And then we've got books by genres here. This page is not working for me. Books by format and books by length, which I really enjoy this one. This is my favorite one out of all of them because I get to see stats that I don't necessarily track on a day-to-day basis. So it's really interesting to see how many books that I read, and I tend to read books between 400 to 500 pages, which is this gold color. The reason why this page here is not working, I tried to break all my options down. I am a fantasy reader, and then I read a bit of romance here and there, and then you can sometimes break some of the books down into more like a paranormal read rather than a fantasy read, that kind of thing. And I thought that would be really clever to see more colours. I will be next year going along with the bare minimum. It'll be fantasy, romantasy, romance, broken down to contemporary and historical, because I do like that differentiation, and sci-fi and other. That's as far as it's going next year, because this is just not working at all. Reading goals I have not checked off, but I am aware that I am quite close to being done with this 20 diverse reads. Thanks to the Booktress, it shows me, because I have both an LGBTQ plus box and also a, is it BIPOC? How do you say that? The BIPOC? That one. So I try to read a lot by diverse authors, and it's going well. And then so hopefully I'll be able to mark that one off soon. I haven't really focused on what I want these to be, but we'll figure it out. Here's the stats omnibus. Really love this page. It's the best thing I added to this lineup for 2025 stats taking. There'll be a couple of changes I need to make next year down this end. Things aren't really like necessary to me, but having a big ass table like this, excuse the French, has been fantastic. I use this all the time. If I need to find information, this is the page I come to really fast. It's got all the information. It's bare bones. I absolutely love it. This was new to me, tracking library savings, and it is hard to fill it in because I always forget that this page is here, and then I have to faff around while the camera's running to figure out what the numbers are. And otherwise I really enjoy this page. I'm really excited to see how much I've saved, because I've really been using the library a lot in the last month, as you can see by 8 books and the savings. So really want to see if I can ramp that up a bit more over the next coming months. And the eArc station again is something that I'm really enjoying seeing. I like seeing this little visual guide here of my NetGalley percentage, and having this little table over here representing what I'm reading and where the stats around arcs is coming from. And then we go into my stats pages. So they all look roughly the same. I wanted to have them be pretty much identical. I didn't want them to be like decorative in any way. However, I have added some elements a little bit here and there. So we do have the first 3 months here, so Q1 is all represented here, and then we have the stats for it. This was sort of something I did on a whim. I didn't know how I wanted to set the page up, so it worked, but I have changed it for Q2. And then I also added some little bits of washi tape to fill in these gaps and match for the both pages. And as you can see, I've done it here as well. So I changed it up. I really like this layout a lot more for the quarter stats. And so for quarter 2, we've got all the information here. I've just done this tonight, so I'm much happier with this layout. I would say this area here is a little crunched up, but otherwise really happy with it. And that is it for this journal. So we've got nothing else in here. That is our entire look at the reading data journal. And also this one here, the main journal for 2025. And this little guy here is keeping me on track with both of these. So I would just like to say a huge thank you to everyone who managed to watch this video from start to finish. Thank you for spending some time with me for the flip throughs. Let me know if you would like to see more pages up close, if there's something you'd like me to talk through a little bit more. I am planning on doing a series. It's a bit ambitious for me, time-wise and energy-wise, so I'm trying not to get people's hopes up, but I've been asked a lot to take people step by step from how to set up a journal. And I've got this little spare journal here that I thought we could set up together. It's an old lectern, and I could just walk you through the basics of setting up. So I don't want to commit to it yet. I've been kind of trying to not talk about it, but I'm really excited to try and take a hand at showing how I would go about setting up a journal and sharing the whole system with you, for those who really want to set up a journal and don't know where to start. So that is it for today. I'll be back with another video very soon. I'm actually hoping to get a video up about my favorite reads of 2025 so far, so hopefully that will be next. But until we next meet, I hope you have fun reading and journaling, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye everyone.